Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Bold Business podcast show. This is Ros Jones, and I'm so glad you've joined me today because we're talking about something that affects so many of us in business, often more than we like to admit, and that's burnout. Now, if you're listening to this and feeling tired, stretched thin, or just a bit off your game, please know you're not alone. Running or working in a business can be incredibly rewarding, we all know that, but it can also be intense, unpredictable, and at times just simply exhausting. And lately, it feels like that's only been amplified. Between constant change, new challenges, and the pressures to keep everything moving forward, it's easy to slip into that state of chronic stress that leads straight to burnout. I see this all the time with clients and people I speak to, and sometimes, I get it myself. But today I want to share 6 practical, realistic tips to help you avoid burnout or recover if you're already feeling that you're on the edge. These are strategies I use myself and with the business owners and leaders I work with. They're not fluffy or theoretical. They're simple shifts that can make a real difference. So let's dive in. So first of all, what is burnout? Before we talk about how to avoid burnout, let's take a quick look at what it actually is. Back in 2021, during the time of the COVID pandemic, the World Health Organization officially recognized burnout as an occupational phenomenon. That means it's not just about being tired, it's about chronic workplace stress that hasn't been managed effectively over time. The World Health Organization defines burnout as having 3 main characteristics: feelings of exhaustion, increased mental distance or negativity towards your work, and reduced professional effectiveness. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, struggling to focus or dreading opening your laptop, that's burnout creeping in. Or maybe you know somebody in your team that's having those experiences. It's important to remember that burnout isn't a personal weakness, it's a signal, a message from your mind and body saying, hey, something's not right here. We need to slow down and recalibrate. And when we're in business, especially if we're the ones leading, managing or steering the ship, our personal well-being directly affects the well-being of our business. If we burn out, the business suffers too. This took me years to really understand, so it was a major breakthrough for me. But let's look at how we can stop that from happening. Tip number 1, we need to change our stress mindset. So let's start with something that might surprise you. Your mindset about stress. We hear people talking about stress as if it's the enemy. It's not always. In fact, how we think about stress can actually change how our body responds to it. It's really interesting. There's a brilliant book by Kelly McGonigal called The Upside of Stress. Maybe you've read it. It was one that we read in our book club a while ago. In the book, McGonigal, she explains that when people believe stress is harmful, they're more likely to experience the negative effects, things like exhaustion, low motivation, and even health issues. It just depends how we think about it or how we're programmed to think about stress. But when people believe that stress can be helpful, something shifts. They start to see stressful situations as challenges instead of threats. Our body still reacts, the heart beats fast, the adrenaline kicks in, but instead of being overwhelmed, we're energized and focused as if it's excitement rather than harmful stress. So what if you started to see stress as your body preparing you to perform rather than something that needs to be avoided? Next time you feel that pressure rising, try saying to yourself, this is my body getting ready to help me handle this. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Because when you change your stress mindset, you change your relationship with the very thing that causes burnout in the first place. Tip number 2 is keep organised. So let's talk about something a bit more practical, getting organised. Here's the truth. How you manage your time is how you manage yourself. Let me say that again. How you manage your time is how you manage yourself. That can be a very powerful lesson to learn. When we feel disorganised, reactive, or constantly putting out fires, stress builds up fast. But when you have structure and clarity, you can breathe. So let's start by setting realistic goals for the week ahead. If you can, plan out your whole quarter as well. Then break those goals down into smaller, manageable tasks. For high achievers who are often the targets of burnout, we tend to set ourselves far too much to do. We have to be realistic with how much time we have available. And then delegate where you can. Don't try to do everything yourself. That's a one-way ticket to burnout. But make sure that when you delegate, you're clear about what's needed and when it's due. Poor communication just creates new stress later. And often I hear people saying that they can't delegate because people do it not to as good a standard as they would do it. And it's really because you haven't communicated properly how you want it done and when you want it done by. So good communication is vital here. And once you've mapped things out, put it all into your diary, not just work tasks, but breaks, admin time, even thinking time, and maybe create some white space in your diary that cannot be interfered with. Give structure to your day. And then, and this is the key, stick to it. Routine creates rhythm and rhythm creates calm. Now, the thing is as well, if you've never done this before, delegated and mapped out your diary and actually stuck to what you've put in your diary, this can feel a bit stressful of its own. So we need to be kind to ourselves as well. Set it out and just give it a go. And if you fail completely, then just be kind to yourself and try again the next day. But you do need to move forward a bit by bit, and soon you'll get into the rhythm of it. And it's that rhythm that creates the calm, getting into a consistent rhythm. Tip number 3. It might sound obvious, but some of us don't do this. We need to take breaks. It's often the first thing we sacrifice when we're busy, breaks. How many times have you told yourself, I'll just power through lunch, I'll eat my sandwich while I'm catching up with emails, I'll rest after I finish this project? We all do it, but here's the thing. Those little pauses are not wasted time, they're essential. Even a 10-minute walk outside between meetings or stepping away from your desk to grab a drink can reset your mind and your energy. I once found myself this was my record. I found myself doing 11 back-to-back Zoom meetings on one year, and that was a real lesson to me. And I realised that actually it's so important to take the breaks. So schedule your breaks into your diary like you would a meeting. Block the time out. That way you're less likely to skip them. And try not to set back-to-back meetings. If somebody else is in charge of organising your diary, be sure that you ask them to put like 15-minute break between meetings so that you're not doing these back-to-backs, relentless, stressful meetings. We need to reset our mind and our energy between meetings. I like to take a short walk between Zoom calls now, just to stretch my legs and get some fresh air and just to reset my mind, but do what works for you. Maybe it's just doing some deep breathing or stretching or just sitting quietly. When you rest your brain, you come back sharper and more focused. And that's so important. Otherwise, your energy just drains away throughout the day. Tip number 4 is exercise. We all know it's good for us, but it's not just about fitness or losing weight. Exercise literally changes how our brain handles stress. It boosts our mood, increases our energy, and also helps us sleep better. All of which will make us more resilient when work gets tough. You don't have to run marathons or hit the gym every day. It could be a brisk walk, a bit of yoga, dancing in your kitchen, whatever gets your body moving and that you enjoy and makes you feel good. The key, as with all of this stuff, is consistency. We need to try to make it part of our daily rhythm. Personally, I like to do mine first thing in the morning before the day gets away from me. It sets me up mentally and physically for whatever's ahead. And there's nothing more exhilarating, I find, than actually going out. I like to cycle or go for a little run. I like to go. I'm lucky I live by the sea, so I get to go out there, watch the sunrise. It's just literally an awesome experience. It makes you feel good for the rest of the day. So if you've been skipping exercise because you're too busy, remember, you're actually too busy not to move. Tip number 5, unplug during non-work hours. This is so important. This is all about boundaries. In our always connected world, it's harder than ever to switch off, especially if you work from home or run your own business, or if you carry your phone around with you all the time. Being always on is one of the fastest ways to burnout, believe me. So we need to make a conscious effort to unplug after work hours. That means no checking emails in bed or scrolling through work messages during your dinner. But again, if that sounds impossible because you've just got into the habit of doing this, you can start small. Maybe set a cut-off time where you put your phone away or turn off notifications. Personally, when I'm home, I put my phone in a different room than where I am. I don't carry it around with me all the time. So here's a fun alternative. Use that time to do something creative. Pick up a hobby that has got nothing to do with work, painting, gardening, cooking, photography, whatever makes you happy. There's endless opportunities for doing something creative. A client of mine has recently started doing spirograph. Do you remember spirograph? Something just really nice, engaging the creative right-hand side of your brain. It's incredibly restorative. And the best part, it makes you better at problem solving when you're back at work. It's really important to switch off and get that creative side of your brain working. Tip number 6, finally, ask for help. This one's big, asking for help. Being in business can be lonely sometimes, even if you've got a big team around you. We often feel like we have to handle everything ourselves, or that asking for help is a sign of weakness. It really isn't. It's actually a sign of strength. Reach out to a mentor, a trusted friend, or a coach. Join a business network or a mastermind group. Surround yourself with people who understand what you're going through. Talking through things doesn't just lighten the emotional load, it often brings clarity, perspective, and you maybe get some new ideas. Remember, you're not meant to do this alone. None of us are meant to be alone. And if you do need help getting more balance in your business and well-being, don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's exactly what I'm here for. So, there you have it, 6 ways to avoid burnout in business. 1. Change your stress mindset. Stress is not all bad. Stress is there to get you psyched up. 2. Keep organised. There's nothing like getting disorganised to make you feel overwhelmed. 3. Take breaks. Be sure to take breaks. Put them in your diary. Put everything in your diary. Schedule out your whole day. Number 4, exercise, even if it's just dancing in your kitchen. Number 5, unplug during non-work hours. Make sure you set those boundaries. And number 6, ask for help. These aren't one-time fixes, they're habits that build resilience over time. This is unpicking habits that are no longer helping you, that have got you into this situation where you're always on, always working in hustle mode. So now it's time to unpick those habits and replace them with new habits that are going to make you feel more energized and fulfilled and calm and relaxed and less stressed. When you take care of your well-being, your business thrives too. So thank you for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love for you to share it with somebody who might need it, a friend, a colleague, or fellow business owner. And if you'd like to take part or connect in any way, learn more about how to bring balance back into your business, you can reach me at rosjones@businesswellbeing.club. Take care of yourself, keep breathing, and remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Until next time, stay well and stay inspired. This is Ros Jones, Bold Business Podcast. Bye for now.